All right, so here we are with Dirk. And Dirk will be demoing. This is i9n, right?
i9, we call it i9.
i9. Oh, I see. i9. All right, it's day 5, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm a little loopy. Anyway, you can see the box here. It's from Spiel. And have you been to Spiel before?
No, we have first time.
This is your
here.
first time?
Yes.
Cool. What do you think?
Oh, it's really busy here, and
yeah.
it's fantastic, but
very cool.
Hard job.
Yes. Yes. And this is your first game?
Yes, this is
and
our
you're the
first
designer?
game. I'm the designer.
Wow. Okay. So you're like the whole schmear. So I remember this game very particular. We sent out the emails to do these demos, and the schedule filled up very quickly. And it was, you sent me an email a little late, and no offense, and Chad, my ad guy, actually said, you need to put this guy in. This game looks really, really cool. And so you can thank Chad.
Okay.
All right, so give me a rundown on, so we call it i9, and it is for how many players?
It's for 2 to 5 players.
2 to 5.
Takes
and 30 to 45 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. So would we consider this a gamer's game, a family game, or somewhere in between?
It's somewhere between.
Okay.
The children like to play it because you have some haptic in this. You drill with this stick here.
Yeah.
For oil.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's also thinking very much, but also the younger ones can do.
Okay. Very cool.
And one thing about the title i9, it's for information. I plus 9 letters, then an N.
Oh.
And the game deals with information, so that's the title.
Very cool.
And what happens in this game? We're searching for oil wells here. The oil wells decrease in each phase. The game has 6 phases of the game by half. So in the end, there's only 1 oil well left, and this is the one we search. And
I see. Well, so it's reality, is what you're saying.
This is reality. Also, this map is a real satellite map.
And so is all the oil going to be right over here? Where it should be? No. Okay.
Same. We have
right. By that time, we're up here. You're right.
64 fields here.
Okay.
And in this game, each of these 64 fields has the same probability to be the last oil well. Otherwise, it would be a stupid game.
All right.
And the main thing, or the interesting thing about this game is we have these punch cards here, and they have information on it.
Okay.
And for example, this one here is for the south. If this punch card goes into our processor, we have this is a computer game, a paperback computer, and it gets information from these punch cards. I show an example. In the first phase of the game, for example, this information punch card might go in here. Nobody knows, but we have seen it.
Yeah.
And then I drill for oil somewhere in the south. That means I look here, for example, in South Africa, Swaziland, coordinates D2. I want to search here for oil. Then I put this stick into the field D2, and now we know south is inside, so I find oil here.
Oh, okay.
You are not allowed to look directly from here, but if in the play you don't see anything.
I was like, you can kind of cheat, can't you? Because I can see which one, but anyway.
Yes, but if it's here,
that's
you
cool.
can't see anything because there's shadow between.
Yeah. You don't play with people that cheat, I understand.
Yes.
So you found a hole, so you found oil.
You found oil. In Iran, in this case, south is the information. In this game, in Iran, there's no oil. I try F5 and I don't get through with my stick. No oil in Iran.
Very cool.
So, in this game, what happens, there are, in each phase, these cards are added. They're added into the processor. So now I've put East inside.
So it gets more and more rare.
It gets more and more rare in each phase. And in the end, there's only 1 hole left. And if this is found here, then the game is over and we count who's the winner. For example, now we have...
So no matter what the combination of cards are, there's only ever 1 hole left.
Only 1 hole left in every game.
That's some pretty cool math right there, man. All
yes,
right, go ahead.
But you don't know, have to know how it works.
Yeah.
So now we have entered southeast. We know we knew before south and now southeast in Australia. Now we will find oil, A5, but here in the Amazonas region, A7 don't find oil anymore.
I gotcha.
So many people asked, oh, is it always the same? How does it work? I just show in the beginning of the game we have 12 of these punch cards, and the world map is divided in different properties. There's oil either we saw in the south or in the north.
Yeah. Or east or west.
In the east or in the west.
Right.
Then we have properties. These stock notes here also show the regions, and they have a sign on it. For example, we have here south and north. They come later into the game here.
Okay, so we have cards that have the various regions in them.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have other properties. For example, the equator region. This is this middle part, and the polar region, south and north.
Pacific and
this is the Atlantic region,
yeah.
and this is the Pacific region. Then we have land or sea.
Okay.
We play on rectangles, and for example, this here would belong to the land because the circle lies on the land. It depends on the position of the circle. Okay. And then we have one property left. It's the fog. This is this cloudy white area here.
Okay.
It's here also. And the rest is the sea. You can see the fog region is a little bit white. And
what do you call this?
A fog. There's fog in this region.
Okay.
Cloudy regions.
Oh, fog. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotcha.
So, and how does it work that there's only one one hole left? In the beginning of the game, we put all the punch cards here beneath each other, and we put two opposite cards on each other.
Oh, I see.
So I put Pacific on Atlantic, equator on pole, sun on fog. Where is it?
Whatever.
Is it here?
I understand. Okay.
Sea on land, south on west on east, and north on south. Then we turn them all around. Can you help me? And we put them on one 12 card block. Then we split them, one to the right, two to the left, and so on. And now we have two pieces of 6 cards. And if you look here, there's only one hole left.
Yep, I got you.
So
all right, that's really cool.
One goes out, and there's the other one. We play with this, for example, and this gets into the safe now.
I see.
So before we start now, each player places his explorers. You have 2 explorers anywhere on the map. You shouldn't put them too close together because then it's difficult to get into different regions. We take 3 players, for example, and then every player takes 2 of the informations out of the safe and has a look at them. For example, now we know Pole and Pacific. If we know Pole and Pacific, then we know in the end of the game the oil must be somewhere in the polar region, here and in the Pacific, so these 4 corners of the game. This is what one player knows. He puts it back into the safe and then gives it to the next player.
Okay, so you have some idea.
Each player has 2 informations, but you don't know what the other players know.
All right.
So, and then the game starts. We are in phase 1 of the game, and in each phase, one of these cards is now added into the processor here. I have put it here inside, and then this processor card comes on, and then we play with this dice with numbers from 1 to 3. You roll the dice. For example, now the green one has a 2. You can run with your points from the dice horizontally or vertically, 1 field per point. Mm-hmm. And you can split your points between these 2.
Move that guy, move that guy, yep.
And you can use points to drill for oil here.
Okay, so
drill for
move
oil,
one and then
point.
drill in H8.
Yes. But before it's allowed to drill here for oil, you have to put a stock note from here to the depot. So you have to buy it with points from your dice. The price of these stock notes depends on how often they occur here.
Okay.
If there are 3 of them, the price is 1 point. If they become rare and there are 2, the price is 2.
I see.
And if there's only 1 left, The price
So these
is
are
free.
each of the regions: South, North,
Yes.
Fog, Sun, Pacific, Atlantic.
Atlantic,
And so
West.
as we drill in the Pacific, each successive drilling in the Pacific gets more and more expensive.
So yes, if I want to drill, for example, here on this field, I could buy a stock node west, for example. But I could
Or
also
Fog.
I could also use fog
I see.
or
Okay,
south.
I got
Now,
you.
our example, I buy with 1 point from my dice
Yep.
the west. I could keep it for other rounds.
Yep.
I'm allowed to have 5 at maximum on my hand.
Okay.
And we start and just want to go on and drill now on C7. And I don't know what happens. We try it. C7, and there's oil.
There
Black.
she blows.
Yes. So if I found oil, I put an oil rig onto this field, and there's one
So you
oil.
got these little deals with the little deals on top of them. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
There's one oil tank on it, and I put a ring of my color on it.
Oh, okay.
And in the end of the game, the winner is the one who has earned most of these black rings.
The black rings.
These
Oh, okay.
oil tanks here.
Yeah, and
so
then
in each
as
phase,
the phase goes on, this one's 2, 3, 4. What happened here?
here this phase is omitted. In this case, 2 cards go together into the processor. We go from here you have only four holes left, and
Yeah.
then to make it more difficult in the end, 2 cards are added and you have 1 hole left. And then in the end you get 6 oil tanks. If you find If you find the last oil well, for example,
At least take your shirt off next time.
on this field here would be the last oil well in the game. Maybe the red player found it. So then he gets 6 oil tanks that count as winning points. And for all players, you add the number of stock nodes which fit to this field. For example, if you have still on your hand east or land or sea, you get for each of these correct stock nodes 1 point. So many people think, oh, you are so dependent on the dice, but I mentioned you buy stock nodes, you also can sell them. So assume I have bought
All the
West.
Yeah.
I used west to drill for oil, and now in a later round I have 1 point with my dice, and I think, oh, I have to do more. Still have west on my hand. I can sell it, and I get points
For 3?
this. Now I get 3 if they are rare.
Right.
If there is 1 in the here, then I get 2 points. If there are 2, I get only 1 point.
So it's the same that you bought it.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
the same
okay.
course.
All
And
right.
then you add these points to your result of the dice, and then with 3 points, you have 4, and then you can do more.
Yeah.
So you can deal with them. It's a good idea to keep some stock notes in the beginning of the game to be able
Buy all the
to do
cheap
more
guys. That makes sense.
in the end. And by this, you can see what information might the others know, because those stock notes, which are rare here, this will be the information which is maybe inside.
I see what you
Maybe
mean.
the others bluff. You can also buy wrong stock notes and sell them later for action points. So the others might be irritated by this.
Very cool.
So we have just found 1 oil well. We go a little bit on, and the red one tries, for example, on H2. I don't
Whatever,
the
yeah.
dice now. H2. Oh, no success. He has put a land stock note here, and then in this case, this stop button goes here. On this field, you'll never find oil again in this game.
Okay, so don't go
It's
back
clear
here. No
because-
reason to.
Yes.
I got you. I was wondering about these guys.
Yes.
And there's only these
No,
7?
there are more of them.
totally, okay.
25.
I
If you're good,
I thought that was some funky math. I was like,
no,
it seems
no.
like you did a lot more. Okay, go ahead.
if you're good in the game, you can do it with 4 or 5. Stop.
You mean you can do it with 4 or 5?
Others can also.
I noticed that when you were doing your explanation, you're like, this one is open, this one is closed.
It was just luck. Okay, before I knew what was inside.
all right.
So we have 25 of this. If you need all of them, the next time you should think a little bit more.
Okay.
And then, if you have no success, your stock note goes back here, so the price decreases again. Land was not good in this case, price
okay.
goes down.
All right.
If you were successful, it was good, the price
It stays here.
keeps
I
high,
gotcha.
like in real life. a little
Yeah,
bit.
that makes sense.
So Now maybe the blue one searches on D4. Oh, no hit.
So
Now I
stop
want
there.
A5.
Right.
Oh, no hit.
No hits.
F7. Yes.
So
F7
it is possible
here.
for you to not get lucky.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, good point. Thank you.
Here. Now.
Yeah.
And it goes on like this.
Yeah.
For example, here and here.
Sure,
and
sure.
Now the first phase ends. Because all the oil rigs of phase 1
Yep.
are found. 4 of 32 possibilities. Then the next of the
So you
punch
add
cards
more of the deals. Yep.
gets into the processor here,
Yep.
and we're in phase 2. And
Okay.
it goes on the same way.
Same kind of thing.
Now there are only the half of the
All right.
oil wells. And now you have to look, also before, in the first time you drill for oil, it's really a little bit luck.
Yeah.
But from then on, you can see what have these stop markers, for example, in common. These are both in the north, they're both in the north in the equator region. This might be the information inside. What do they have in common? What is the difference? So
So a
from
bit
this,
of a deduction game.
it's a deduction game. From this you get information and you can guess what's here inside, and it becomes more and more difficult.
And so you can buy the stock in preparation for getting victory points at the end.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you also see from the stack what do the others do, and where
Yeah.
do they drill. So it's not a corporate game.
Yeah,
but,
cooperative.
but you need the information from the others. So if you're not successful in the beginning, it doesn't really matter so much.
All right.
Because you see the others, they don't find a thing, or they find something, but it's not so important. It doesn't bring them so much
Yeah.
points. But you get their information also.
All right.
So you profit from the information of the others.
Very cool.
Yes, and if you're here in the end, then it's over.
So if I was a person that wasn't at Spiel, how would I find this game?
Where do you find?
Yes.
On the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we have a web page.
Okay.
Spiele. If you search for i9 with Google, then you'll find us.
Storthman-Spiel.de.
Spiele.
All right, very cool.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Thanks.
It seems like a really cool game, and I'm glad Chad told me to get you in here.